Oh,
That's okay. Is it 4:30 there?
It is.
yes.
Okay, well, we have a quorum, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. And my agenda says that we have oaths of office, but I don't think we do.
I noticed that. I said I didn't think we had any more. I thought we did everybody, but
That's just in case.
yeah.
Okay,
Unless we pulled somebody off the street, Lisa.
yeah. Roll call, please.
I'm just gonna switch devices real quick.
Okay.
Abendroth,
She says she's here.
you did?
Oh,
Great.
Okay.
She said she was here. She waved.
Alan?
She just went to change devices.
Okay, she's here. Bryant?
here.
Crosby?
Hmm.
DeFonce?
Here.
Drennan?
Here.
Latta? LePage?
Here.
Lamonto? Mandeville? McDonald?
Here.
Minnick?
Here.
Novacek?
Here.
Purick?
Here.
Roland?
Here.
And requests to be excused were received from Thomas Mandeville and Andrew Lamonto. And
Thank
we have
you.
a quorum.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the approval of the absences, approval of the May 24th, 2021 agenda, approval of the April 26th, 21 meeting minutes amended, and the committees for which there are no reports at this time, which are advocacy, executive, finance, health plan, negotiating, nominating, and personnel and property. Do we have a motion?
I so move. Gala.
And a second from Mary Abendroth.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye or waving so I can see you.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, anybody opposed? Anybody abstaining? Consent agenda is approved. Public comment period. There's no public here. Is there any public there?
No.
Is there anybody who wants to say anything? Okay, no public comment. Communications.
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything. I think we don't have any. President's remarks. It's a beautiful spring day. I hope you're all enjoying it. I hope it's as nice where you are as it is where I am. And I want to encourage everybody to participate in the leadership campaign. If you haven't already made a contribution, please contact Michael.
Can he just remind, at some point, he doesn't have to do it public like this, but Michael, if I haven't done it, please send it to me, but I think I did.
Okay.
Just
I
let
will
me
do
know.
that.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt if you sent a note to people saying, yes, you did, and no, you didn't, whatever.
Right, because I
Okay.
forget.
Yeah.
We, it's been a long year.
Yes.
And it's only May.
That's right.
I will do that.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Michael. That's really all I have. I hope that the weather continues to be nice for the weekend and everybody has a good Memorial Day weekend. On to the Plattsburgh Public Library report.
Hello, everybody. We are going to continue with the mask mandate per New York State health guidelines, where the vaccination status of individuals is unknown. Also, because of our vulnerable populations, the mixing of kids. So we'll keep up with that. The central library directors, we're all over the state. We haven't met in a long time and feel that we need to start meeting. There's some legislation that's changing, may change the way that the state aid can be spent. So I think that's important. I just finished the advocacy training that CEF did, applied for the grant in conjunction with North Country Library System. And putting the library on a ballot over there is very common. And they had 12 libraries on the ballot this year and all 12 passed. The most important was, of course, Ogdensburg, that was threatened with closure if it didn't pass. They have seen their municipal funding drop to bare minimum. So that was really exciting to see that. And I think pretty much that's it. We hired back one page, and we're just reopening. We're open for full browsing, computer use. People can come in and use their devices. We've got our tables distanced. Children's room is by appointment if it's requested, but not necessary. So we're pretty much back to capacity, I think. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Any questions for Ann? Thank you very much, Ann.
You're welcome.
Director's report.
Well, I guess it's my turn.
It is.
You have it in your packet. What information I had as of the 13th. I've got some updates on these. We, in our staff meeting last week, talked about masks also, and because we're such a small population and we really don't deal with the public facing, and everybody is or is being vaccinated, we want to move back to a mask. If you're comfortable with it, no mask or mask, whichever way you whichever way you lean there. We have gotten proof of vaccinations from all but 2 of our staff, and one of them's me. Those 2 are both in the middle of their 2 shots, so they've had their first shot, and this week we'll get their second shot.
Good.
And after that, we're all vaccinated. The CARES Act grant, I had no news for you when I typed up the report, but I can now tell you that has been approved. And we have started spending the money. Which, yeah, we're going to try to spend it all before June 30th. I know orders have already gone in for the laptop computers, and Michael has ordered the software that he was asking for, and the others are all purchasing e-audio books and e-books. About $12,000 is what that came down to. And they have started ordering against that amount. That's a lot of ordering in a very short time. But the way these gals shop, we aren't going to have a problem at all. A couple of updates on the construction aid that our construction projects that we're involved with. I've got a couple of items here. When we poured the cement between the buildings closed off that tunnel. There was a drain pipe that was at ground level, and it ended up it was so rotted that it fell apart. So they couldn't have that. Anne, of course, did it because it was on her side. But we're wondering who is financially responsible for that. When we talked to the construction people right after, they said it was broken already. We don't know.
Oh, shoot.
Anyway, the repair came to $846 or something. Is that right, Ann?
Yeah, that's right. I just have to say that it couldn't have been broken beforehand because once the tunnel was sealed, our side filled with water because it was a steam line that was damaged. And, you know, it was just in the course of bringing all the material down that they wheeled it over the steam line that was in the concrete. And so it did have to be replaced. The good news was now that the tunnel was filled, we were able to, instead of the steam line going down and under to accommodate the tunnel, we were able to just connect the pieces on this, you know, horizontally without digging out the old pipe. So we did remedy that, and that did stop the leaking on our side of the wall.
But it
So
was filling
I
the
guess-
tunnel. It was filling the tunnel that caused the damage.
No, it filled up because the pipe was on our side of where they filled the tunnel, the wall from our side down to that wall was filling with water. And at the time we were worried it was groundwater or it was a broken water line that was under the driveway. And, you know, so we did a lot of investigation and finally had the plumbing or the, you know, steam folks, the HVAC folks come and you know, determine that the steam line had been broken and replace it.
So the steam line is connected to your system, is that it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And I simply sent it over to you folks because it wouldn't have even been an issue, except we did allow your contractors to come in our side door through our basement and access the tunnel from our side 100% to load all those concrete blocks and all their materials through there. So normally there's never any traffic there. And it just seemed to me that since it's a state grant, there's money that perhaps that could be included as part of the grant because it was because we were kind enough to allow the materials to go over that line. And the state library may say, no, that's fine. But I just thought that it was, you know, a damage that we incurred as a result of the project.
Any other questions about that?
So would this be an allowable expense under this particular grant?
It probably could, except we spent our portion plus.
In other words, there's no grant money left.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
well,
talking about $800?
yes.
Any suggestions from the public library?
Well, because my understanding was the tunnel and the driveway is all part of one grant, that because the driveway is not at that stage yet, there may be some wiggle room in that fund. I haven't seen the numbers for the driveway yet. That was just the reason I thought that it was still an option.
Makes sense.
Well, it would be a matter of waiting until all the other work gets done then.
Sure.
Right. Okay.
Onward,
Okay.
Steve?
The other construction, of course, is our driveway parking lot out to the side and back of us. We are moving forward with that. We just today got back the engineer's report, which is what we needed to put this out to bid so that people can see what needs to be done. So we will probably be going out to bid soon, within a week or two. And then we'll have more news for you next board meeting.
Thank you. Any questions for Steve?
Steve,
Any-
I have a question. The Assembly bill to have a 90-10 split for construction,
Yes,
has that gone to the Senate yet?
it, I don't know if that one has or not. One of the bills that we were working on, and it may be this one, has already passed the Senate and is sitting on the governor's desk.
Do you know what those certain circumstances are that would,
Well, it depends mostly on the economy of the local economy.
what's
So
been
it-
done before?
Yeah, and pretty much the library systems will be evaluating that. We've had David be in charge of several of our construction projects, and now I've forgotten what I was going to say. Yeah, we'll credit or blame David. That's what I was going to say. So my mind is gone. We'll move on.
I had a question. The CARES Act grant, is that the one that we had submitted and then it had to be declined and then we had to resubmit something else? Or is that a
Yes.
different grant?
That's the
Okay.
one.
Okay, so we did resubmit it and that's the one they're working on that they're talking about here.
Right.
Okay.
Any other questions for Steve?
Yeah, I did not completely understand the status of the masks in the office.
I think I can clarify. What they have decided is that once everybody's fully vaccinated, they're going to not wear masks in the office because they don't have the public coming in. I would assume when they go out, they will wear the masks.
Yeah, our drivers will continue to wear them because they're going out into the libraries and such. And otherwise, we're leaving it up to the employee. Like I said, we talked about this in the last staff meeting, and they seem pretty comfortable with the idea that we can take the next step with our masks, which is when it makes it optional for the employee. If they feel more comfortable wearing the mask, that's fine. If they don't, then that's fine also. And like I said, the only reason we're doing this is because we will all be vaccinated, fully vaccinated. And we're a small group that does not have a public face. The number of visitors we get is negligible. We would require someone coming in to wear a mask or show proof of vaccination. Did that answer your question, Steve?
Well, yeah, so the staff voted this? Is that
Yeah.
how the decision was made?
Yes.
I guess I was under the impression that the vaccinations were not 100%.
That's what I hear, but the CDC, we're following their recommendation. And I think risk of exposure here is also negligible.
What
My-
about, are we gonna be meeting as a board, in real life or real?
I think we
Together?
probably, we will, but I think we will also keep the Zoom link available for the people who don't feel comfortable or who have to travel a long way, because this is really, it's very convenient for
Convenient.
emergency situations and it saves time.
Well-
So unless it's impossible to function, I don't see why we have to meet in person. We always had the ability to call in from the member libraries and go from there. So I don't see why we can't keep the video thing available.
Sure, it makes sense.
Well, I heard from another board I'm on that the open meetings law stated that Zoom would have to stop being used by boards by next month or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I have not heard follow-up.
I
This
don't
is a
see-
woman,
The requirement for open meeting is that you be able to see and hear.
I know.
So
This was a report, someone told me. I have no clarification, no verification. I'm just bringing it up. I don't know anything about it other than that, which would
There-
shock
there
me
are-
because we've been using Zoom on that board for years. So I
Yeah.
don't,
anyway, go ahead,
There,
Steve.
there are specific rules that you have to do if you want to use remote access. And we can look at that. I suspect they'll not renew this in the second half of this year. The governor has to extend these rules that he meant here every month. He can't make them for more than 30 days. And so he has to go in and renew these, extend them 30 days every month. And I think right now, the 7th is when the current signing expires. But always a few days before, he goes in and signs an executive order that allows us to do this type of thing.
Okay, can I ask you to do something for us, Steve?
Yes,
Would you please check the open meetings law? Because I know that we always allowed people to call in. So
Yes.
it's like, if they can't do that, we were breaking the rules then. Because we did that for years.
Yeah.
It's like, there's only the requirement that you be able to see and hear and that there be a quorum.
Yes.
So I want to know whether we have to have in-person meetings. If the law says we have to, then we'll have to, but
I think that has more to do with phoning in is different. It has, there's
yeah, this
strong-
isn't
well,
phoning in.
phoning in is much more secure. People have been hacked on Zoom. I know
Yes.
many people who have been hacked. So I don't know. I'm just, that could be a legitimate concern. I mean, when's the last time you heard somebody hacking a phone line? Right.
and-
So again, I don't know. This was somebody who tends to be a bit of a wonk.
Yeah,
She
and
brought
that-
it, she brought it up because she just took a library position, and I'm wondering if that had something to do with her.
Anyway,
But that's
it's-
kind of
it's-
interesting because if you're hacking into something that's an open meeting.
Yeah, right?
As Lisa said, we've had the library set up where people could access it remotely. We've published, what the link is for people. So it'll be interesting, Steve, whatever you find out about this. Let's see.
I will make sure that we're on firm ground.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Steve.
Well,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
getting back to my original question, when and if the board meets in person or partially in person, are we going to wear masks or what's our position?
If we had to have this number of people in the boardroom right now, I would say we would wear masks in the meeting.
My understanding of the New York State guidance is that it is recommended for things held inside. If you do not know the vaccination status of all the individuals, it is recommended that you wear a mask. At this time, of course, people are getting whiplash because of the guidance is changing so frequently. So, but that's the interpretation we're using at the food shelf, that we are continuing to wear masks, even though, individuals have been told one thing or another. but we do not know the status of everybody that we may be in contact with. That's my understanding of the
Well,
last
there,
New York State.
there is also the fact that if you have anybody on the board who is immunocompromised, which we may, given the ages of the people on the board,
Hey,
they don't know whether the vaccine actually does the same thing for those folks that it does for everybody else. And so it behooves us to protect them.
correct. And, you know,
Everybody is more comfortable with masks than we wear them. I mean,
being a diehard Yankee fan, there were 8
yeah,
people that were vaccinated that
Yeah.
contracted COVID-19. No symptoms or very few symptoms, but nonetheless, they were vaccinated.
So I think if and when we do meet, unless they have totally said, you don't have to wear masks, I think we will.
My personal feeling is we should, and we should wait a while before we, break out. With herd immunity and all that, things are going well, but the experts say we're not yet where we need to be in terms of beating this. So anyhow, my 2 cents.
And there's no harm to wearing the mask. The harm comes in the reverse. If we wear masks, no harm, no foul, right? To use a Yankee term.
Okay, let's get back on track here. I think we have an agreement. If anybody has any thoughts on the masks that they didn't get a chance to express, please let me know. You can email me or you can call me, or let Steve know. You can email him or you can call him. But I think, as a consensus, we'll wear them if we have a meeting in person, because that room's not that big, among other things. Anything further for your report, Steve?
No.
Okay, it's time for the financial reports. I need a motion and a second to discuss the financial reports.
I'll make a move.
Oh,
Okay, Mary made the motion and Darcy seconded.
correct.
Is there any discussion of the financial reports? Is there anything in particular Michael wants to talk to us about?
I want to start the conversation by, I apologize. I know you see in the packet, there's only February, so that means March, April, and May will be due soon. I would like, I had to move from working on this to work on the annual report for the member libraries and for us. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks, I can get the annual report done. There's only 2 sections left. The big section for New York State funding, it has to be broken down by funding stream. That does take a while. And then there's just contacts and trainings for the year. So that should not be a lot. And then I will be able to go back and get the reports up to date. Again, like I said, I apologize for not having them more up to date. We still have money, we're not having any money problems. We're still working with the budget that we kind of set up. So at some time we are going to have to redo the budget to add the 20% that we got from last year. So, at some time, we will be working on that, but I want to get the annual report done. It's about a couple months behind right now, but it will be done in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, any particular things in the financial report that is in there that we need to pay attention to?
I would, there's a few items that are over, but it's not really over a lot. And, when we do a budget revision, these items will be fixed. We really have not bought any books, DVDs, e-audio books, anything that, from our basic budget. We've done it from, different grants that we already have the money on. So, so that has been keeping our, the outlay down. But as soon as I want to get a budget in, so, we can start purchasing these items. But no, as of February, you know, we were still very good.
Okay, any questions for Michael?
I have one question, Michael. I'm not sure I understand the vehicle insurance expense. That there's a refund potential?
Yes, we usually get about $1,000 refunded to us from the insurance, and it usually doesn't happen until, you know, like this insurance is from September of 2020 to August of 2021. We usually don't see a check until at least the end of 2021 or the beginning of 2022. But we usually do get $1,000 back out of the 11 or 12 that we spend, you know, for both the business insurance and the vehicle insurance.
So this is like self-insurance then or something? Kind of like the workman's comp claims, if you don't have any, you get a refund?
Yes, that's correct, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Michael?
Just,
Yeah, I guess I'm concerned that, you know, we're 2 months behind, 2.5 months behind on.
But we have Brendan now that is almost right up to snuff doing the payroll. She does a great job. So she's been doing it every other payroll. So that gives me time, you know, to work on these projects. I was also working on the CARES Act project, you know, and the driveway project, and the member library annual reports. You know, I know you've heard this for 2 or 3 months, but it is getting better. You know, I am getting more time to work on these projects or to work on these monthly reports.
And I think Mary had something she wanted to ask.
what is the status of the PPE comings and goings and monies and,
The second one,
is that
There
in
was
this
more-
report? I couldn't see.
on the second PPP, there was more restrictions, and I tried to work it so we could, send an application in, but they wanted a 25% drop in any given quarter compared with the 2 years, and I just couldn't get that 25%.
Oh, okay.
You know, I was getting 2022, and you know, I asked the company that we dealt with, you know, if that would work, and they gave us kind of a yes/no answer. So,
Okay. Just curious.
Okay, anything else for Michael? Any other discussion about the financials? So
So-
Michael, just when do you think you might maybe catch up with all the reports?
I definitely will have them have 3 months worth of reports for the June meeting.
Okay,
One way or another, I will have them.
okay.
Michael, if it makes sense, when you finish 1 month, if you could send them out rather than right before the meeting, we have 3 months to look at.
That's fine. Yep, I will get them out as soon as I get them done.
Great, thank you, Michael.
You're quite welcome.
Anything further for Michael? Okay, all those in favor of approving the financial reports, please signify by saying aye or waving your hand.
I,
Aye.
Nikki?
I said aye.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear you. Okay, anybody opposed? Anybody abstaining? Jump up and down if you are, because. Okay, motion carried. Committee reports. I have nothing on my agenda from committees. Anybody out there with a committee report? Anybody out there that's interested in joining a committee, please let Steve or Michael or Brenda or me know. And no, you can't just get off a committee. Please, please, please don't do that. Let's see. Unfinished business. Well, there's the CARES Act update. We may have already covered that.
I think we did. The only question that came up is whether or not the board needs to approve this grant.
I thought we did.
Accepting it and accepting the expenditures, which it depends on whether you look at these as individual purchases or as one purchase. If it's one per purchase, we go over the limit that needs board approval.
Okay,
If it's looked at as individual things, then it doesn't.
so I have a suggestion. If somebody would like to make a motion to approve the expenditure of the money from the CARES Act as explained in the proposal that was shown to us 2 months ago. So we need a motion.
I make the motion.
Who was that?
Hope.
Hope has made a motion. Okay, do we have a second?
Liz will second.
Liz will second.
Beat you, Mary.
Any discussion? All those in favor of allowing them to finish paying the CARES Act money out for the things that they propose to spend it on, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anybody opposed? Is anybody abstaining? Does that cover it for you, Steve?
It does.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Under new business, we have received a request from the union to open contract negotiations. Anything we need to know about that other than that?
Well, Tom, who isn't here today, is our chair for the negotiating committee, and this is the first time I've gone through this because 1 year we extended it and 1 year we ignored it because of COVID.
We didn't ignore it. We asked them to be patient, and they were.
Yeah, and they were. I don't see an adversarial role here, but we do need to set up the contract.
Does that need a motion or
that.
no?
No, it's up to the
No.
negotiating committee.
Okay, sounds good. I just wanted to be
So
sure.
everybody who is on the negotiating committee, prepare for contract discussions. And hopefully we'll hear something from our chairman telling us what he needs from us. Anything else, Steve?
Nope.
Okay, anything else for the good of the board? You all look good. I hope you're having a good beginning of spring, and I hope that people are able to get out without masks too much. And with that, we are adjourned.
Thank you, everyone. Good to
Thank
see you.